Yes. Let the ladies talk.
Hallelujah. My own is also to the parents, those who determines woman or a man that their children should marry. My father is in Accra with a girl, a woman he want to marry, and his parents took my mother for him. And my father don't love my mother, but love the other woman. And the parents also don't love the other woman, which is a gang. And my parents are Ewe. So they took an Ewe woman for my father. So my father don't have a say, but rather stay with my mother. And then stay with the other woman also. So along the line, the woman have to draw back with 3 kids, which is 2 boys, 1 girl. And my mother had asked, okay, let's say 7 pregnancy, that tends to 10 children, which is there are twins in it. But my father don't take care of us. My mother will suffer, sell kinky to take care of us. It got to a time we have to eat once a day. And that once a day, I have to go to my uncle who is a miller, the one who mill a corn, to go and collect that remaining corn in a machine. That will cook banku and eat 2 o'clock. That's all. And as I'm saying now, my father will take care of the other children. As I'm talking now, 2 of them are in US. 1 is living good, but we are struggling. And up to now, my mother and my father is still living together. Oh yes, they are still living together. And up to now, my father don't have one love for my mother. And sometimes he will say, "Wuna will see me when I'm meant to me already. I'm a pen." And that hate transferred to us, the children. When I was growing, I saw that we are living in poverty. So I forced myself out. I have to marry to an aging man so that something can come to us, so that I can take it. So I forced to revive the family. I even bought a car for my father, and which my father doesn't have even to appreciate me for it. As I stand here now, I pray for my father to die. I pray that my mother should remain. I want to get something to elevate my mother. Let my mother enjoy life before she will die. And that man is so proud and arrogant. That's why I hate our men. Sorry. If I bet not to date an Ewe man because of what my father did. Not that, let me say, if I say I hate, it's different. Because I saw my mother suffering. And I don't like, not that, I don't know what to say. But the fact is, this man is still living with my mother. And this man is still my father. And rather, where he did not sow, he want to eat from there. When we are talking to our mother, he say he is jealous. He's a proud, jealous man. So I would say, we parents, we should allow our children to make their own choices when it's come to marriage. We should allow them to marry the ones they want to marry. Don't say this is my friend's child, so go and marry that person. You are not the one who will go and stay in the marriage. So keep off from your children's life. Let them make their own decision, who they want to marry, who they want to spend their life with. And then you stay back, assess it, direct them, pray with them, and then give them a good way to go and bless their marriage. Amen.
Amen.
Yes. More stories.
I may say that our destinies are not in the hands of our parents. All because when I was schooling, I made a decision to become a midwife. And my father was also in support of it. And when I completed, things has changed. I have forced him, my mom forced him, my stepmother forced him, including my teachers. But he decided not to help me out. Until one day someone came to me that they are employing ladies in a certain hospital. So I should write a letter. So I wrote the letter, I sent the letter there, and I gave it to the director himself. The director read the letter, and he asked me to invite my father into his office and see the way out, if he can help me or not. I went back home, tell my father all this, but he said he will not. He don't have time, so he will not go. So the letter was with the director for more than 1 year. And then the director have to give the letter to the secretary. So when the director had a transfer, I have to visit, forward back again, or pay a visit and find out whether I'll get the chance or not. When I went there, the secretary told me that the beautiful ladies I'm seeing around, they had a job with something. So if I can comply, then the job will be offered. And when I was growing too, I don't know what came over me. I told myself that I'll never give myself to a man for money or a job. So when the secretary said this, I ignored his decision. So I went back home with pain and tears to attack my father. What my father told me is that you can kill me today and tomorrow. Since I've decided not to help you, I'll not help you. So one day I asked myself, why should I waste my time on my father? Why wouldn't I live any life that I want? After I thought all this, one day too I was there and I sat myself down, asking myself certain questions. That if I should die now, will I die with my father? Mm-hmm. Will I be judged with my father?
That's right.
If I should hurt myself now, would my father feel the same pain with me? Why won't I organize myself and then find a way out? Glory be to God that though what I wanted to become, I couldn't. But I am in somewhere now that I can get my daily bread. And before my father would die, there is a word. A friend, I know that be. Forgive me all that I have done against you. If I should get the opportunity to come back to life, I would have correct my mistakes. And I also told him that, Daddy, you will come back to life, not knowing he's already gone. And then what I want to tell the parents is that they shouldn't think they are our parents. Therefore, our destinies are in their hands. Never. Our destinies are in our own hands. It depends on a kwanya wa wo de be fa so. Wo ni ya wa bo ama ho. Wo na cha because of what you've been through your parents is also up to you. Thank you.
My question is, since most of the children we are already damaged, how then can we correct it and then make changes so that we can live a pleasing life? And then again, how can we identify God's own plan for us, since we are already predestined as a child before we come on earth, and now we have found our way doing different things? Maybe it's not in yes.
How, you find yourself in a default situation.
Exactly. Yes. So how can we identify God's own purpose and plan for our lives?
For some people, to revert back is difficult. I hope you understand. For my sister, for instance, inherent in her, was the spirit of a midwife. Right? But the father's work in her life brought that damage where she never saw that dream. If she should become a midwife now, meaning she has to go to school because it's a profession that you need specialized education to become. Which, if she skipped, like my brother was saying that at JHS, so if her life ended at JHS, that is how that authoritarianism style of parenting has damaged her life. So she's damaged. She's now living more or less like from hand to mouth, surviving, consoling herself that at least I can survive on something. But the actual dream is gone. The actual dream is gone. That is why this conference, so that you sit back and the only person who can help you rewrite that code is God. Because you know, some of you, I was talking to a lady and she said she applied for this security job, either migration or police or so. After some discussion with her, I realized that no, she wanting to be a police officer is only a desire, not God-given. You have a God-given talent. That God-given talent, no matter what, you see the burning, the burden. This is what I want to become. That passion is there. It's not a desire, it's a passion. You flow into it with ease. When I sit down, I can create designs and bring them out so nicely. I said, so when are you starting? That is your dream. That is your passion. This is where you flourish, but not a desire to become. I tell pastors that there are a lot of churches, especially most of our Orthodox churches. I was talking to one man, he said, oh, he had wanted to become a man of God. I asked him, have you been called by God or you desired? You understand? Because in many churches, especially in the old churches, you can find, let's say, 4 categories of pastors. The ones that God called, the ones that called themselves, like the one who has that desire to become, but age has not been on his side. The one that the church has called. You understand? You can be very active, especially in Presby, Methodist, and they will encourage you. Become a catechist, become a lay preacher, then they push you to seminary, and they will be given a parish. It is out of your zeal. The church called you. God has not called you. And then we have the ones I call rented pastors. The rented pastors are the ones who go through seminary. Any church can employ them. You understand? So if you don't see yourself being driven inwardly to attain that, it's difficult.
This topic. Someone was saying she grew up to hate every man. If you did not understand her, hey, I understand her perfectly. If nobody here understands this woman, me, Adam, standing here, I understand her 200%. Because my father is that kind 300% stubborn man.
Fathers, are you here?
That I will say stubborn and arrogant. And he, up till now, he is still that arrogant and stubborn. Up till now. That he is almost 70. He is still having that character in him. Why am I saying this? Some of our fathers think if you divorce your wife, you divorce your children. Is that correct? Divorce your wife, divorce your children? And which woman in the right sense will leave the husband's house if she is enjoying the marriage? My father can, though I was not old, I'm a kind of person that I don't forget things easily. I only completed JSS in 1995. Up till now, no school again. I wanted to be a journalist and a nurse at the same time. That was what I've been saying since my childhood. Those days, I don't know they are called journalists. All I will be telling my grandmother is, Majiwe Mahla News la TVG. Majiwe Mahla News la TVG. I will be a nurse, but still read the news on the television. And my grandma will look at me and smile. And if I see the way this woman was toiling, one day I told her, Dada, I will build a house and put you in one day. And she was like, even if you did not do that before I die, I'm already in your house. You see, my mother left my father's house because my mother is that cool type. And she is someone up till now I've noticed that there are some people who cannot take pain. They can't harbor pain. So she better leave. How can a wife be in the house and a man in the right sense bring another woman to the same house and order the wife to get up from the bed and lay with the other woman? And you say this woman should still stay with you because she left, you will not take care of the kids. And this was his statement. Meaning, he will not take care of us for another person to come and enjoy. Who is that other person? Our grandmother. And now, lo and behold, Major is alive, our grandmother is dead. Ask me, by then, where was my mother too? Because of all those pain, this woman cannot stay at one place. She also left. So me, those days, if you ask me, is your mother around? I will say yes. I thought you are talking about my grandmother. I know my grandmother as my mother. Oh yeah. But my mother came back with another three kids, but trying to change things. But it was too late for her to change things. When I wanted to get married and I took my then boyfriend, today my husband, to my mother, by then she was staying with a certain pastor at Mamprobi. May he so rest in peace, Pastor Sammy. They ask, are you sure this man is not a Christian? Can you? I was like, oh yes, I was on the streets. Accra Newtown night market was my home. So I got someone who give me somewhere to lay my head. Why won't I go ahead? My husband is a Ghan, but was a Muslim. Why am I saying he was a Muslim? By the grace of God, he have denounced that he will not go to the Muslim this thing again. But I married him a Muslim. By then, it was challenging. Because if you sing gospel song, they say go and do Allahu Akbar. So if you come to my house, I have Quran, I have Tesbah, I have Buddha. I can speak Hausa like it is my own language. They asked me, and my mother was like, me, I will never say to any of my children, choose this or choose that. That is what my mother did to me. Because she was with another man, but the mother thought, my mother and my father are coming from the same house. My mother is from, my father is from Patamia, and my mother is from Chikata. Look at Chikata house and look at Patamia house. The same place. But look at what happened. Even when I've forgiven my father and I told him I'm going to the pastoral school, do you know how he did? You can't do it. So me, I don't work with them. He told me I should not worry myself. Your husband is a police officer. You want to be a pastor. How can it go? He said it will not go. I said, Daddy, I want to be the journalist I wanted to be. He said, who? You on TV. Who tell you that? And the way he will say it, you will know that he is completely looking down on you, because he thought in his own mind, because I did not do it, you can't make it. That is his problem. But now he wants me always to give him money. To give him, oh, that man came to my house. The marriage, he did not collect anything. The marriage, he refused. Toiled us around for 1 year. And his elderly brothers stood in and did everything. Today, he will come to my house, come and pick my car and travel with it.
My dad married 2 wives. And whatever decision they made, yes, my mom was married to him. But then he found another love. So there were 2 wives. Now, whatever decision they made concerning bringing us up, my mom will give birth. And when she weans us off, my dad took us to his wife. So she will take care of us as a mother. And then my mom will be in the village to take care of the old ladies and the old men. That's his fathers and aunties and sisters. So now, it became like your stepmom is taking care of you, so you own her. And it isn't that my dad didn't love us. He really loved us. But he couldn't show it. He couldn't portray that love to us. So when it came to my mom's children, even though he loved us, he was hiding it. So whatever you need, you couldn't go ahead to ask like, Daddy, I need this, I need that. But the other siblings were free to ask of anything, and they were given. It got to the time when we had finished secondary school, and we had to go ahead. Now, my stepmom says, if her child is not going to the university, I am not going. So a man that loves his wife accepted that decision, sent me back to the village to be with my mom, because she was with the old men and old women over there. And God bless my grandma in blessed memory. She took a bold step and said, if you are not taking care of my grandchildren, then you leave my daughter. So for the respect for that woman, he came back for me. And even for me to further, it took the decision of my my junior ones, that's my step siblings, with my dad, for me to go ahead in life. So, okay, NIIT. That was then, 2003, 2002. I said, I have no choice, I will go. It's university I want to go.
Yeah.
But if there's no way to go to university, I'll take NIT like that. I entered NIT. The first half of the year, the school year, he won't pay my fees again, because he's heard that I have a boyfriend. You see the pain we go through. It isn't true that I had a boyfriend, but how am I going to explain myself? Because my mom is not there with me. And whatever my stepmom says, that's what he takes. So I had to endure that. And God in his own way brought people my way to help me through. Thank God I didn't become a bad girl. Anytime and when he opens the door for me. So as and when he said he was not going to pay my fees,
And unfortunately, they had gone on transfer to Bolga, and I was alone in Accra. So a family friend ushered me into her house with the father. So there was a work opportunity, and I was enrolled in there. So that was what helped pay my fees in NIT. And my genius had completed school with FFFFFF.
Oh,
And that year, they entered university
with the F's.
with the Fs.
It's a miracle.
I'm telling you. They entered university. I was watching them packing their things and leaving the house with all the joy. And I was standing up there tearing. Where did I go wrong? So one thing I said to myself, I said, I will go to the university for the certificate, not for work, but to prove to my stepmom that God owns all the powers in this earth. And truly, I entered the university, not with the help of my parents, but with the help of God. And today, as I stand here, I can boldly say that out of the 10 children, I'm the only one with a master's. Yes. So parents, it really hurts. In my growing up state, every child that comes to me, even though I try to show love, but because of that kind of I'm always like, Debbie, I went through it, so you also have to go through it.
Oh,
Yes.
you are a victim.
I'm telling you.
Clap for her.
I went through it, I didn't die. So you have to go through it.
Wow. So you are doing it to your children.
I've stopped.
From today.
Thanks to my mommy. No, not from today.
Okay.
Thanks to my mommy and daddy. Because of the teachings, they keep taking us through.
God bless you.
So now I have come to love every child around me. I've come to show love to them. I've come to pay attention to them, hear whatever their worries are, and try my best to be the best mother I can be to them.
Be the best mother. God bless you.
Why do we have to wait till the last end when we can do something? Thank God for such programs. Now we have heard. Don't let us wait. If there is an amendment to be done, let it be done now. Because when it gets to that minute, it is difficult to forgive the person. Thank you.
Right from the blood of blood. Yes.
Right from inception.
Yes. Then maybe she has the woman concerned that she go and terminate it. The woman tried, but things didn't work out, so the child has to be born. And he happens not to see the child. He knows the child has been born. And I think he did that at the expense of another woman, which I didn't know back then. So as we were growing, the one who just came after me, the lady that she left, when she completed JHS, she had admission in St. Mary's. So he has to come around. By then I was staying with her auntie. So he came that there was a prophecy somewhere that she has a child that she's not taking care of. So until she take care of that child, things were not going to be good for him. So he came. Honestly, he didn't come to see me, he came to talk to the auntie. That's what the auntie told me, and then she was going to take up from there. By then I was in secondary school. So we took off. Maybe with that one, anything, it has to be between the auntie and him. You don't have a say. Whatever was said to your auntie, he can also come and tell you anything, which you don't have the power to say anything because you are under their care. In this case, whatever you want to do, your parents are not there to for you to even tell them your mind to do it for you. Because when I was in JHS, I realized my strength was in math. So when we were choosing school, because St. Mary's was higher than Ebenezer, I chose, no, St. Mary's was not having a business course back then. No, I'm talking about Accra. So we have to choose St. Mary's for general art. But because I didn't get the ones I wanted, I had my second chance, and by then, no placement. So when they looked at my form, they saw that my first choice was general art. So since my grade fit into them, why don't they give me the general? But I also know Ebenezer was then a good business school, but there was nobody to even help me change it like other parents do. That, oh, my child's strength is in this, so if you could, because I know people who did it. So, as you are saying, parenting, it can cost us. It can cost us when they are not there. But at the end of the day, my mother, for instance, she was forcing things till things got worse. She couldn't do it again, and there was no one there. You have to struggle. No, my mother was working in Cocoa Board by then. No. Even after the time I finished Polytechnic, to do service cry attachment, he said he has completed all those, the colleagues he was working with. There are no more there. But I knew her cousin was a board director over there. He didn't do it. But as I'm talking now, he's sick. If I'm not able, me, if not because of where I am in the teaching, me come aboard and be the better at Tareli Shuashe. You see, the last time I went, he said, I can give him whatever he wants now, but he can't even come because he knows what he has done. So when it happens that way, the others get down, and the one that he rather went to school and even made my uncle, who is the board director at Cocoa Board that is working, he's not even fooling. He's fooling. When even if the sister talk to him pride, when they pray, I say, you that you are his direct sister, he's not listening to you, and what about me? So our fathers, they should look at it, because since you manage to bring the person, manage to also help in bringing out so that the best will come out of the child. Because with all this struggle, you can't get your real identity, and at times, if God is not on your side, you end up in another way. Thank you.
Thank you.
I remember something.
You have remembered something?
Yes.
Come back.
You see?
No, I like it that in a way, it's a healing process. The pain is coming out. You understand? Yes.
In spite of all this that I went through, with all these 10 children, and with all this hardship I went through, it's not like my dad didn't have. He had. In his last days on this earth, that's about 2 years ago, amongst the 10 kids, I was the only one with him. The only one taking care of my father. And he kept begging me from day one. In fact, I'm in the north. From the one I came to Accra, he begged me till his last breath on earth. So why do we have to wait till the last end when we can do something? Thank God for such programs. Now we have heard. Don't let us wait. If there is an amendment to be done, let it be done now. Because when it gets to that minute, it is difficult to forgive the person.
I'd like to say something about my dad too. I'll just correct something the lady said earlier. My own fasting, I'm also a non. Before I was born, my dad said my mom should throw me away because there is more to come. According to my mom, my grandmom, even when my mom was pregnant, my dad brings in women to sleep on the bed with her. And yes, that was about when I was young, when I was in my mom's room. I experienced a lot of hardship with my dad. My dad is a lawyer. He works at the Ghana High Court. Unfortunately for me, I met Christ along the line. My parents were Muslims. My mom said, "Nah, you are destined to be a Christian." My pastor prophesied you'd be a Christian, but I'll not make it possible. I said, let's see. So 2007, I became a Christian. Then my dad said, oh, then he's now a bastard. So he left my mom. I was with my mom. My mom said, don't worry, God will take care of you. My mom died in 2018. And before then, my dad was like, it will never be with me. I can never make it in life. Nothing will be best for me. And then the church I was into, I was actually one of the prayer warriors. So they kept telling me, God will do something for you. Don't worry. Just have faith in God. Before my mom died, she said something that, Salim, it will not be easy. But God bless you. And you make it. After she died, my dad came out. I came again and said, oh, my son, I need to have completed SHS. And you want to go to tertiary? Don't worry, I'll help you. I was like, okay, let's see what happens. So what happened was, I applied for school and I told him that, Dad, I've applied for school. I needed money to pay my fees. And he said, okay, he has heard me. The next thing I heard was he told my stepmom, she cannot be my mom to school, no, or the back of my mom. That December, my dad carried 6,000 Ghana cedis to the beer bar to drink. 6,000. When he brought the money, he asked me to keep it for him. I was like, okay. Oh, maybe my school fees are me could tell me fees. I did say, oh, what they are calling my. And I took my things from his place and I went home to Kaswa. But something told me that God always has a way. And along the line, I got admission into tertiary. When I got admission into tertiary, I told my dad, I paid my fees. How I paid it, he never cared. He never bothered. Level 300, my dad had an accident in his thigh. They had to do a transplant of his femoral bone. And now he was like, Salim, you have to do the transplant. Take me along there. I said, okay, don't worry, I'll go. I took him across the, we went to nothing, we went to go for India, nothing, and we came back. I was still with him. And then, finally, I said I needed money for fees again. He told me, oh, my money I spent, oh, let's finish. I said, okay. And he spent 190,000 on the transplant. Still is in the same condition. And I'm not done with school, I'm working, and he calls me, Salim, I need money. I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'll send you. Now, all I want to say to our parents is this. First off, please do not be cursing your children. Those things really do not help them. If a child makes a mistake, talk to him. Don't tell him, Obebre, NCWE, Odachi, those words. They really destroy some people. For me, if not for the fact that I had God and I had faith that things will work out, things wouldn't have been good for me. Secondly, if you can support your children, support them. You don't know what God has for them. Thank you very much.
My daddy is a person. He doesn't really like talking. His own is, what do you want? Tell me, I'll give it to you. Don't pass any lungu way to go for it. Just tell me, I'll give it to you. And my mommy is also like, she is the disciplined type.
The one I talked about, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
The do this, don't do this. This is not good, this is good. So, as for my daddy, it's my mommy that is watching that part.
So, the neglective and the authoritarian balance,
so, you know, when I was young, I used to think, oh, my mommy is too strict, so I love my daddy. I love my daddy. My mommy, she's too strict. She's always, J-Jom, va, this. You get it? My daddy is always, my daddy will be like, if I go, Daddy, please, when you are coming back from work, I want this. Be like, okay. When I go to work, call me and remind me. When he's coming, he will buy it. So I'm always, Daddy.
Daddy's boy.
I'm not really like that with my mommy. When I was young, I didn't used to go to her. I didn't talk to her like that. I feel this kind of fear. You get it? I say, Obet, you get it? So I'm always with my daddy. And you see, my daddy is also a guy. I'm also a guy. So
that's right.
Boys.
Wonderful.
The connection was there. If I needed something, it's easy to tell my daddy. He will understand me because as I'm also a Bema, You get it? But growing up, I saw something. I saw that what my mommy was doing, it was also helping. What my daddy was also doing was also helping. Because without my daddy, some things are there. I'm not sure I'll get it. And without my mommy too, some things are there. I'm not sure by this time I'll get it. I wouldn't be like this way by this time. Because looking back at my friends used to have some things. I felt, maybe my friend had this shoe. I'll tell my mommy, I want this. My mom will be like, no. And I'll feel that my mommy cried, they may be on person or whatever, mommy. But my friends, my daddy, or anything. So I'll be like, come mommy to see. You get it? But growing up, I saw that when I take a look back at those friends, now, the way I am, they rather wish they were me. You get it? Because now that I'm growing, my mommy is trying everything to put me in school. You get it? After SHS, the thing is, my daddy is just like, what is the money? Price, Fabra, over here.
I will not accompany you.
Oh no, sure. PTA meeting. PTA meeting. It's my mommy that will come. So I just used to think, me loving my daddy too much. If my mommy was also like my daddy, PTA meeting, who will come? You get it? And one of my friends, when in school, be like, hey, we don't want me do. Me since I see school, my friend said PTA meeting na. Obey me so many time. Me papa dey bobo. Me papa dey meeting na say. Me tell me say papa dey ono ko ejuma 247. Ono Ochene said that don't you have holiday? He will tell you that if a policeman goes for holiday, that means the thieves can work. So policeman he won't go for holiday.
24-hour policy.
24 hours.
That's right.
If you tell him, daddy, go to church, he will tell you, I'll go to work. So my mommy is there, Jejom, let's go to church. Let's go to church. Let's go to church. And if my mommy wasn't like that too, I wouldn't know Christ like that. I wouldn't like church. I would be like my daddy. My daddy on no church, no. I'm sure. Him, if you go and debate with him with church, he will tell you, New Year I went. My little brother was telling him, Daddy, you don't like going to church. He told my little brother, at least I go once every year. And he was proud. I said, him.
New Year Christian.
New Year Christian.
That's
him
right.
He goes New Year. I said, they are kind of there, I'm sure.
So rounding up,
I just want to say, you shouldn't think, oh mommy is strict, she doesn't love you. It's your daddy that loves you. You should just try to balance everything. You get it? If my daddy also wasn't there, some things are there, maybe, I'm not sure my baby provided mommy. She will provide some things, but but not everything. You get it? So you should try to love all of them equally. Amen.
Some of you, I know you have a lot to say. Fortunately for you, I'm recording stories like yours under what I call letter to my parents. This one is a general one. What you have seen here, I've been doing individual recording. If you have a story, take my number. God bless you for coming. I've enjoyed your presence, and I know that we'll meet again, you having a very better self of yours.
First of all, I will thank the host. Yes, I'm so glad to be here and be part of it. And I think, or should I say, everything that I heard today, the program is a very, very important, very informative and educative. I'm so glad to be here because I learned a lot also from everything that was said. I realized that there are some things that I took for granted, and now I know that is a reality. It's really a reality. I've always thought I had a story to tell. I thought my mother was too strict. My father was the good one. But coming here today, I realized that they are both good. I learned a lot, and I'm leading my life now because of they work together. Yes, every good and bad, bringing it together helps us. Yes, and what I will ask is maybe one day, doctor will have a program as a continuation of this one, to have a program that will also educate people to really know that identity crisis can happen anytime, anywhere, at any age.
There's a lot to be said, but to summarize everything, it is a very educative, a restorative program. And as I listened to most of the people speaking, I saw that there was so much pain in many people, but today they've gotten it off. And I believe this must not end. It's not the first. Those who even came the first, it's as though they haven't been here before. So what I'll say to this great man of God, that's Reverend Dr. Harry Odro, Morgan Odro, is to keep the good work up.
I really like the question and answers time where people vented out all their hurts and their grievances. And I think going forward, we need to have closer sections where we can, it will be like a clinic where people's hurts and grievances will be addressed and solutions provided or tailored for that particular purpose, because I know there are a lot of people that are going through this identity crisis thing, and I believe that with time people will get to know what really goes on in parenting and would be very good parents, or would do we say good parents, or would act very well in dealing with their children and the generations to come.